Perfect 10 Ministries International presents Arise with J. Danielle Taylor, live every morning at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Facebook at J. Danielle Taylor Live, Instagram at J. Danielle Taylor Official, or YouTube and Twitter at J. Danielle Taylor. Jumpstart your day with the word, inspiration, and prayer. Share and invite a family member or friend to partake in these moments of empowerment, education, and encouragement designed to equip the believer, develop spiritual maturity, and build a stronger and closer relationship with God.
Join the Life Church of Columbus for 21 days of prayer, fasting, and consecration from January 4th through January 25th. Fast consists of only fruit, vegetables, and water. Then every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 o'clock p.m., tune in and join the Life Center live on Facebook and YouTube for prayer and empowerment with our senior pastor, Dr. Walter E. Taylor. This corporate fast is for the revealing of the steps and processes needed to manifest all things destined for the body of Christ in 2021. So let's build the kingdom and start 2021 with clarity and direction.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I wanted to do another segment. I did one. Let me get this camera right. I did one on Monday, at day one of our fast, and I shared with you what my menu plan or meal plan was for that particular day. I even gave you a glimpse into what we would be eating the next day. And so I said I would do like every other day just to be an encouragement and a support to all of our members. And then, of course, for anyone who wants to jump on, anyone who just wants to know about nutrition, one of the things that we do not do as people very often, and especially as believers, unless we are really into nutrition, but just as a regular rule of thumb, oftentimes we don't stop to look at what it is that we're eating, see the nutritional value, see the content of it, etc. But I believe that when we enter into any period of our lives where we're going to consecrate ourselves to God, where we're saying, God, I want to be better in my spiritual life, we can't leave out the physical. One of the benefits of fasting, the main benefit of fasting, of course, is to discipline our flesh so that we will be able to not be distracted by the things of life, not be distracted by outside things, but so that we can discipline and consecrate ourselves for the service of God. But how can we serve God if our bodies are all jacked up? If we're not healthy, if we're having problems with high blood pressure, if we're having problems with diabetes, if we have high cholesterol, if we have heart issues, if we have lots of excess swelling, etc., how can we really be effective and efficient in the kingdom of God? And even more so, someone challenged me with this a few years back, and it's something that stays on my mind and has really been with me now that I'm in a point where I'm trying to get back to an optimal weight, get back to good health, is how can we really effectively testify to someone about the greatness of God and the power of God and what he can do in our lives when we are unhealthy? And that stuck with me because we have a testimony. God can do anything. He can change this and he can change this. Why hasn't he changed our eating habits? It's not because God doesn't have the power to do so. It's because perhaps maybe we were unwilling to change. Maybe we were unwilling to change our food choices. Maybe we were the ones that were unwilling. And of course, God is not going to force himself on us. He's not going to make us do anything that we don't want to do. He gives us free will. And if we choose the right things, then his word lets us know that he will bless it. He will bless and multiply anything that we do that's in alignment with his word. And we know that his word says that he wants us to be in health and prosper even as our souls prosper. So we're going to talk about some of the choices that we can make. I'm going to share some of the choices that I'm making on this fast so that hopefully it will be an encouragement to you, because fasting doesn't have to be boring. This is not an absolute fast. We are closely going with the guidelines of the Daniel fast in a lot of areas, the main one being that we are refraining from meat for the next 21 days. And most animal products, although Apostle and I, we had a little, not debate, but just some clarity that had to come when it dealt with animal products like cheese, for example, because we had not specified that, and then I went and bought all this cheese. So what I am doing though is I'm at least staying away from it as much as I can on this 21-day fast, but absolutely no meats, absolutely no sweets, absolutely no processed food. Everything needs to be fresh, either fresh or frozen. For the most part, it's okay to use beans or vegetables out of the can if you just have to, but fresh is always the best way to go. So let's go ahead and share with you these things that I'm preparing for my family for lunch. I'm about to pack up everybody's lunch and take it to them. So I just wanted to share with you some of the things that we have had. I don't know if I should leave the best for last or not, but this is a little different. It's a lot different. So I understand. But there were a lot of church members. I talked with one on yesterday. She was like, oh Lord, my husband was like, I can't make it. You know, I've got hard work to do and just not eating any meat. We can make it. We can do it. And I'm actually praying and asking God, because I was a vegetarian for about 4 years. And I'm praying and asking God, if this is the time, if this is right for me, I'm okay with moving back to not eating meat, or at least not filling my diet where I feel like I have to have meat at every single meal. It is okay. It is okay to have an earthy diet without any meat. It makes your body very healthy, because if we don't turn to meat for the most part, then that means we're going to turn to fruits and vegetables. And what happens when we get our diets consumed with eating a whole lot of meat is that we often forget about all the other food groups. Come on, somebody, because how easy is it to run through a drive-through and grab a box of chicken at lunchtime? How easy is it to go to the drive-through and grab a burger at lunchtime or at dinner time, or go through somebody's drive-through and get a chicken biscuit in the morning? And for 3 meals, we've skipped and not have any vegetables, not have had any fruits, not have had any starches or anything else that makes up what a nutritious, a full balanced meal should be. And then it hurts us in the long run. And that's the thing about it. It's the silent things, the things that we can't see, the things that we don't know, that these things are happening in our body because of the deficiency of having nutrients that come from our vegetables, that come from our fruits, that come from our starches, that come from our whole grains. So that's what we're going to talk about for just a few moments today. We're going to look at some of the healthy choices that we are making on this fast, and hopefully it will be something that you can incorporate in your fast. If your church is going by the Daniel fast is a lot stricter, and there's absolutely no animal products. So one of these is not going to apply to you. So that's okay. It's still a healthy choice though. And when your fast is over, perhaps it's something you can incorporate in what you were doing. So I'm going to go on over here to the stove. I turned something to the microwave on. I got something here that I need to nuke so I can taste it, because I don't want to eat the food cold. But we have over here some potatoes and chickpeas, or garbanzo beans as they are technically called. And I'm just stirring them around here. I've already cooked them. I already seasoned them. So I'm just getting them a little warm. No, I did not. I know we said that we need to have things that fresh from the ground or from the earth and not out of cans. But y'all, I can't lie to you, I did not sit here and cut up all these potatoes into the little dices. And I'm going to put them on sauces and hold them a little closer to the camera so you can see in just a moment. I did not cut them all up. We did use diced potatoes from out of the can. And of course, when you read the labels on your can, I'm over to get one just so you can see the difference between eating fresh versus eating something out of the can, because there's going to be one big difference. And I know you guys know it. So if somebody knows it, go ahead and drop it in the comment section. Let me put these comments on. Go ahead and drop in the comment section if you know the biggest difference between eating something fresh versus getting it out of the can. Let me go get a can. Okay, so the number one difference in eating something out of the can versus eating it fresh is this little dirty word right here. Where'd it go? Blah, 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 blah. There it is. I don't know if y'all can see it or not. I'm trying to hold it into view. Sodium. Sodium, sodium, sodium. There's going to be extra added sodium into everything It doesn't grow with this amount of sodium, but once they have to cook it, once they have to take it and can it for us to have, it's going to have some added sodium content. And that's the problem, because you're right. This sodium is what's keeping us bloated. Sodium is what's keeping us with blood pressure issues. Sodium is what's contributing to so many health deficiencies. But I did make the choice to use it out of the can today. But I promise you, I'm not that big on potatoes. My husband is a big potato eater, and we're going to talk about potatoes in a minute, because I know you guys are thinking potatoes make you gain weight. If you eat too many of them, absolutely right. But I do have some tips here on how you can make sure that you incorporate potatoes in what you're eating and not gain so much weight. But I'm going to make sure that I go get a bag and dice them up myself the next time. But for the sake of this video and for the sake of the fact we didn't have a bag of potatoes, I went ahead and chose out of the can. But I am just going to drop on this plate so you can see what we have here. And then I'm going to tell you why I chose to mix it up together. But we have potatoes and garbanzo beans or chickpeas. They look almost the same, but because we don't have any meat, it's the texture that does it for me. Adding the texture into, or the garbanzo beans into the potatoes gives us a good breakfast would be cream of wheat and the potatoes and chickpeas. I'm gonna put that in. I'm gonna give that a try. A good breakfast would be cream of wheat and the potatoes and chickpeas. I am definitely gonna try that one day this week, and I'll come back and give you all a review on it. Thank you for sharing that with me. But for me, it's the texture. I want it to taste like I had a piece of meat in there. So I started thinking, I don't have meat, but I know when being a vegetarian before and having to substitute that protein in there anyways, oftentimes we use beans, legumes, soybeans, etc. So I decided to incorporate, that's good, a chickpea. I did not try to use that much salt or anything. I did a little bit of seasoned salt. And then I used this seasoning here. It's Badia, and I know it's showing up backwards because I should have flipped the camera around. Badia Complete Seasoning, Sazon Complete, and it just has dried herbs, and of course it's got that little dirty word in again, it's sodium, but it's got dried herbs in it. A healthier choice would be to just get some plain dried herbs, find out what's in here, and that's what I'm starting to do with a lot of the seasonings now that we're on here. I'm being more and more aware of salt and sodium intake. So what I did, and y'all, I'm having problems with my vision. So I'm gonna get one of those kids to read this when they get home today. But we're gonna read exactly what dried vegetables are in here. And the next time I make this dish, I'll have my own seasoning. But this is, you know, something that's good for the taste if you want to season it and not have something that's just completely salt or sodium. You can also make a power bowl with this. So what we're going to do is, let's talk about how much potatoes we can have. I've been reading online, doing some research. I wanted to know that I was right. And basically it says a medium-sized potato, which would be about the size of a computer mouse, and I have a computer mouse here, is what we eat. So if we were going to get our full serving that we can have for today, I'm going to guesstimate that this is a cup. So I'm going to guesstimate that it's roughly a cup. It's about the same thickness, about the same density. Maybe 3/4 of a cup is what we can have. This is a half a cup. So I am going to just take a half a cup and about a half of that. So this is how much potatoes I can have in a day's time. But I promise you, once we take and we put our other vegetable on top of this and make this power bowl, it's going to be more than enough. This is my suggestion for potatoes if you're going to eat them. Like I said, I'm not that big of a potato fan, maybe a couple times a week, if that much. I will eat them. But if you love potatoes like my husband does, eat them early. Eat them early, have them at breakfast time, like this person was saying. So I'm going to put this tip back up here. It's another good breakfast treat. I'm putting this back up here for another breakfast idea. But eat them early. Eat it early at breakfast time, or at least at lunchtime. I'm about to take them some of this for lunch. Eat it at lunchtime, and that way you had time to burn it off. I know we'll be at the church all evening, so by the time we get done and come in the house 8:30, 8 o'clock, he would have walked around and done so much that he would have burned off what he needs to burn off from this. What I have in the microwave is some leftover Brussels sprouts that we had on last night, Brussels sprouts with cranberries in it. So I just sauteed them very lightly in just a little tiny bit of butter. Yeah, butter is not the best for you either. And that's why I said on a Daniel fast, most people would not be allowed to have butter because it is a dairy or an animal product. I'm trying to tilt it without making it spill on the floor. But we're just going to take this and we're going to dump it over into our bowl and make a power bowl. And also it has walnuts in it. Trying to make sure I get it at the camera. When it's backwards, you don't know which way to go. So we have walnuts, cranberries, and Brussels sprouts together. And I'm telling you, it was better than I thought it would be. I tried this at the country club once, and I was shocked. It did have ham in it, so it was a little better with the ham in it when I tried it. But I just took the ham out of it, used the walnuts, cranberries, and Brussels sprouts, and it was absolutely delicious. And I already tasted this earlier. Let me find it for it. I'll be right back. I already tasted this earlier just to make sure it was going to taste good together. But it's like when you are eating just natural, healthy foods from the earth, you really can't go wrong. Like the taste is going to be there. And foods that you don't even think should go together are going to go together. But I want to just pull out a couple of forkfuls so you can see. Like the taste is so interesting of it because in every bite, you're getting something different. Like here you got some walnuts, a little bit of cranberry, just a slither of the Brussels sprouts, and then you have a chickpea caught up on here with the potato. So in every bite, you're gonna get just this great, awesome, nutritious mess and this great flavor because the cranberries were setting it off. I got to a point where I started searching for the cranberries, and then to eat the cranberry with the potatoes and the walnuts, and just leaving the Brussels sprout out. I'm not the biggest Brussels sprout fan, but even the bites that had the Brussels sprout in it, it all worked together. So that's a power bowl that you can do. On top of this, you can do any vegetable. You can do broccoli. You can do spinach. You can do kale. You can do any green vegetable that you choose. Put it on top of this, and you have one big hearty meal and something that you can take with you for your lunch. Now, we said we're going to I know they see me on live. Why are they trying to call me? I'm sorry, y'all. Let's talk about the things that we are eating in here just to give us a little nutritional information. Brussels sprouts, the health benefits of Brussels sprouts. And I'm looking at the computer screen, so that's why I'm turning away just a little bit. Give me just a second. Brussels sprouts are high in nutrients. Here are some of the major benefits of half cup of cooked Brussels sprouts. They have vitamin K, 137% of the daily amount. Vitamin C, 81%. Vitamin A, 12% of the recommended daily amount. 12% of folate, 9% of manganese. It has proteins, carbs, of course, fiber, and only 28 calories are going to be in half a cup of cooked Brussels sprouts, which means it's absolutely fantastic to you. I know that's one of the things that we didn't probably grow up on. Cabbage was a staple, maybe not Brussels sprouts in our household. In fact, I don't think I ate a Brussels sprout until I was grown, to be honest. But they're so nice and little and round in size that you can just take them and cut them up and use them in anything. And they're easier to manage or handle than a cabbage would be. Now let's talk about these potatoes. The good old potato. The potato does have health benefits. I know it has become the enemy of diets, especially for people who are trying to lose weight. But when you are on a Daniel fast or some type of fast that's cutting out meat, then you want to find something that's going to make you feel full and whole in what you're eating. And potatoes is just one of those items. Potatoes are a versatile root vegetable and a staple in many households. Potatoes are relatively cheap, easy to grow, and packed with a variety of nutrients. I'm going to put it here so I don't have to keep looking away. Let's look here. They're packed with nutrients. And let's just talk about the nutritional content. 1 medium baked potato. So that's about what we put in that bowl. So let's see what we got out of this bowl. We got 28% of the recommended daily amount of vitamin C, 27% of vitamin B6, 26% of potassium, 19% of manganese, 12% of magnesium, 12% of phosphorus, 12% of niacin, and 12% of folate, which means we're doing pretty good. This is like a good mix. If we had a nice multivitamin, all we have to do is just eat a little bit more, get those other percentages. So it's not necessarily so bad for you. It's just anything that you do, you have to do in moderation. If I just eat all Brussels sprouts all day long, then that means I'm missing something that I need. So even though Brussels sprouts is better in its content or better for you, especially if you're trying to lose weight, you don't just want to eat Brussels sprouts all day. So anything that you do, eat it in absolute moderation. One of the biggest things is potatoes. Don't use so much salt on it, because a potato is going to basically soak up the sodium. So you don't want to have it with salt. Add minimal added salt and use other herbs and things for your flavoring of it. There was no evidence eating potatoes increased fasting glucose levels. There was no difference in cholesterol, insulin, or other markers, the authors noted, and there were no adverse cardiometabolic consequences concluded. And when there was a study done on just what potatoes do to you. So potatoes are rich for us, rich for our diets, just don't have too much for it. So when you're on this fast, you can pick a potato. I would just say eat it early and not too late. Let's go ahead and move on to the next thing. Walnuts, of course, are great. And then cranberries. Let's talk about cranberries for a second. And then we're going to get on to our next dish. Let's see. We already read about potatoes. We're going to click that out. Let's close that tab. Close this one. And let's talk about these cranberries that's in here, because that was the only fruit really outside of I don't think there's another fruit. Well, bell pepper is considered a fruit, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But cranberries are another thing. Cranberry 101, one of these nutrition health benefits. Cranberries are a member of the healthier family. They are related to blueberries, bilberries, and lingonberries. Never heard of a lingonberry. Anybody know what a lingonberry is? Lingon berries. If you've had one, let me know. Or a bilberry, bilberries. That means I need to go find out what these things are. Most commonly grown in North America, cranberry, but other types are found in nature due to their very sharp and sour taste. Cranberries are very rarely eaten raw. In fact, they're almost often consumed as juice, which is normally sweet and blended with other fruit juices. But they are rich in various vitamins and plant compounds, some which have been shown to be effective against urinary tract infections. That's why when you get a UTI, they say drink some cranberry juice. So, nutritional facts about cranberries is they contain vitamin C, manganese, vitamin E, vitamin K, and copper. And of course, you know that inadequate copper intake may have adverse effects on your heart health. So anything that's going to give me something that's going to help my heart health, I am down for it. So I think we had a great choice in making that meal, that dish. We had a great choice on that. Now let's move on to just something that's just by itself, nothing special added to it. And I guess I use the same fork since this is going to be for me. Some good old zucchini. Now, of course, we need to have a couple of servings of vegetables. So our next one is going to be zucchini. With zucchini, you can do a couple of things. I like mine with yum sauce, but don't drown your vegetables. Don't kill them, okay? Just eat just enough to give you just a little bit of added taste if you can't eat it by itself. I can do it both ways. I just took this and stir fried it, sauteed it just a little bit, seasoned it very, very lightly because, again, we don't want to give our food high blood pressure by adding too much sodium. And I'll just take just a tiny bit of yum sauce because it has that ugly word in there too. It's so little I can't find it, but I know there's extra sodium. There's a lot of sodium in there. So we don't want to make our food choices end up being bad choices by adding so much sodium content. But like literally, when they tell you a tablespoonful or just a quarter size, just use that much. Just a little tiny bit. There's only a few pieces of zucchini on here anyway. Just gonna take it, dip it on the side just a little bit, get a little bit on there just to add a little extra flavor. And that's it. Zucchini to the rescue. Let's see what the nutritional benefits of zucchinis are. Zucchini. Zucchini is rich in many nutrients. It contains 16% of the recommended daily intake for manganese, 14% vitamin C, 13% potassium, 10% magnesium, vitamin K, 10%, folate, 8%, copper, 8%, phosphorus, 8%, vitamin B6, 7%, and thiamine, 5%. It also contains small amounts of iron, calcium, zinc, and several other B vitamins. In particular, its ample vitamin A content may support your vision and immune system. A raw zucchini offers a similar nutritional profile as a cooked zucchini, but with less vitamin A and more vitamin C, a nutrient which tends to be reduced by cooking. So I messed up. I messed up by cooking them and knocked down the nutritional content of the vitamin C. That was good. I had to eat another one of those while I'm talking to you. So if I'd eaten this zucchini raw, I would have taken more vitamin C. Why is it important for us to incorporate as many zucchini as we can and fruits and vegetables like it then in our diet now, especially when we're dealing with COVID, because we want to build our immune systems. We know that vitamin C is one of the things that help with that. So zucchini is a good choice. Our last choice here is going to be just a little snack that I prepared for me because, again, we are going to be at the church all evening long. We got a rehearsal and a meeting. They're going to be there for prayer. So make sure you guys join us at 7 o'clock p.m. for our corporate prayer. Anybody that's a part of the body of Christ, please do. You're invited to join us at 7 o'clock p.m. at the Life Center Facebook page or on YouTube, and I'll have it on my page as well. These little things right here. I'm going to tell you, I ate some for breakfast this morning. Whoo, Lord, you almost did not have these for the demonstration because that's how good they are. And let me tell you something. This is why we have to check ourselves on talking about what we don't eat. For starters, I'm going to take one out and put it a little closer. This is just a little sweet pepper, a sweet red pepper. I bought the bag. I think it was like 3 different colors in there. But anyways, I saw this recipe on somebody's post, and I looked at it and I said, ew. Why? Because I don't like cream cheese, which is what's on the top. We don't really care for it. You can give me a bagel by itself. Don't slide in cream cheese on it. Every now and then, I might just take a few bites of it, but it's not something that I love. And peppers, I see people eat peppers all the time. I take them and pick them out of my food. Green bell peppers, I'll cook with them, but I don't want to taste it. I'm going to take it and slide it to the side because I don't like to eat peppers. And I definitely don't like to eat them raw and by themselves. And I would never have thought of putting cream cheese on top. But then we got this fast was announced. I saw this months and months and months ago. So it just fell back in my spirit. I said, let me go find this recipe for eating the cream cheese and the peppers together. And I just like braced myself. In fact, I bought it about a month ago because I wanted to try it in advance, but I never did. I had 3 bags of little peppers in there, 1 bag that ended up shriveling up. And I know that was bad, y'all, but I ended up having to just throw it out because I kept it so long because I was scared to eat it. Because I don't eat it. How many of us say, I don't eat this? I don't eat spinach. I don't eat broccoli. I don't eat okra. I don't eat this or that vegetable. And we just don't. And it's because we've limited ourselves to maybe trying it the way someone else cooked it, trying it without adding certain things to it, and we just discounted it, knocked it out of our diet altogether. But then I tried this little fella. Get you some small sweet peppers. If you are allowed on your fast to have some type of dairy product, then add some cream cheese to it. If not, this is just a wholesome snack for when you come off of your fast. And we're going to take some Everything bagel seasoning. You can find this at Aldi. And it's a little salty to taste, so you don't want to overdo it. And then, of course, you don't want to, I'm trying to read this, y'all. I promise you. Y'all pray for my vision. You don't want to overdo it because of any sodium content. You just want to put enough on there to season it. Give just a little bit of seasoning. But it contains sesame seeds, sea salt, minced garlic, minced onion, black sesame seeds, and poppy seeds. And that's what it is, mixed all in here together. So it's just the sea salt that gives it, that risk for you. So again, you don't want to use too much. But you just take it, just lightly sprinkle it, and it's going to come out in big pieces because of the sesame seeds. Oh, it's beautiful. Look how beautiful this is. It's so pretty. So after you put it on there, whew, it's just like anticipating the bite. And when I put it on there, my son tried it with me because I always get somebody to try it with me just in case it's nasty. We can taste the nastiness together. But guess what? Mikhail and I tried these on yesterday, and they were so good. Neither of us could stop. We ate an entire bag of peppers by ourselves before we knew it. That is so good. So again, and I promise you, those are going to be gone in a few minutes as soon as I log off. And I promise you, I never would have eaten this before. I've even tried like roasted peppers and putting it on a grill and making it with a shish kebab or something like that. And I bite a little piece off of it and throw it to the side because I absolutely just could not stand the taste of peppers. But this is good, y'all. This is something that you can have on your fast. One more thing I just want to add here is make sure, of course, we can only drink water on this fast. So make sure you are measuring and getting enough. This is Apostles. I don't know if I have it, but I'm going to borrow this on today. This is 32 ounces, which means if I drink this twice, I've had 64 ounces of water, which is what I need in a day's time. Make sure you are measuring your water in some kind of way. We need to get to those 64 ounces, people. God is doing something great on the inside of us in this fast, spiritually, and he's going to do something great on the inside of us naturally, if we follow the instructions, if we do what we're supposed to do, if we take the knowledge that we've already gotten scientifically from doctors and researchers that say our body needs to have 64 ounces of water, get you something that you can measure it by. I'm not trying to advocate for anybody, but this is by Contigo. I'm sure any maker of these kinds of cups, I'm sure would make something that you can use to measure by. This is 32 ounces, 2 of these. I'm good. So I've already drank about this much anyways, and it's 1 o'clock. So I'm sure I'll take this down hopefully by the end of the day. Because I'm a sipping water drinker. I am not a professional water drinker. I'm getting back to that point, guys. So this is the little trust part for me. And what I didn't want to do is get a cup that was 64 ounces because they have that. I saw it on Amazon. And what I would be doing all day long is like, I still got this much water left to drink. Oh man, especially if I'm somewhere at the top. But this one, you really can't see it. It's a fun, cool looking bottle. And I figure I'll throw some ice in there, let the ice melt down by the end of the day. And I'll have more than enough. So I'm doing this. And make sure if you are having some type of bread that you stick with your whole grains. Whole wheat bread is a really good choice, and there's some other whole grains that you can choose from. This is another thing that I'm being transparent, and that's why I'm doing this, so we can support one another, because I am not a fan of whole wheat. I remember when Apostle and I first got married, I got mad at him. When I tell you I got so mad, I wanted a grilled cheese sandwich, and he showed up with some whole wheat bread, talking about somebody with experience, because I get mad about my food. I was like, what is this? Why are you bringing this mess into the house? I don't eat that. But as I started to study and started to look at just life and things that we eat, I know that whole grains are better for us. They're better for our digestive system. They're better for us just overall. Of course, it's going to have less carbs in it than it would regular white bread. So if you're allowed to eat some bread, make sure you choose a whole grain. The bell peppers and cream cheese, I didn't give you the nutritional facts, and we're going to be finished right there. If you want to know what you're getting from those bell peppers and that great sweet little snack that we just had, bell peppers are loaded with various vitamins and minerals. Vitamin C, One medium-sized red bell pepper provides 169% of the reference daily intake for vitamin C, making it one of the richest dietary sources of the essential nutrient. We're trying to build our immune systems. We're trying to make sure we're as healthy as possible during this time of COVID. So bell peppers are absolutely fantastic choice. It has vitamin B6, vitamin K1, potassium, folate, and vitamin E. It is a very powerful antioxidant, which is essential for healthy nerves and muscles, and vitamin A. So that's a really great choice. I didn't read about the yellow ones, but I just pulled up the first one. But all bell peppers in general are rich in various antioxidants and just in the minerals and nutrients that you can get out of them. And cream cheese, let's talk about cream cheese. Cheeses are low in carbs, not a whole lot of calories, although they do have fats in them. So you want to just be mindful, don't overdo it. And let's talk about cream cheese. Cream cheese does not provide a lot of nutritional benefits in comparison to regular cheese, but here's some advantages that it does offer. So cheddar cheese, and I looked at a study on that. Cheddar cheese, for example, is a lot higher in the nutritional value and content, although there is one area, I forget which area that was, there's one area that cream cheese does outrank cheddar cheese when it comes to that particular nutrient. But cream cheese offers a good concentration of vitamin A in its most bioavailable form, which is retinol. It contains 362 mcg of retinol activity equivalent, and it provides over 40% of the recommended intake per 100 grams. Let's see, it's tasty and versatile, of course. Drawbacks is not as nutritious as regular cheese. I did say that regular cheese is concentrated form of milk, and as time passes, bacteria digest the milk sugars. As a result, cheeses provide little carbohydrate and very high amounts of fat, protein, and all the nutrients in regular milk in a small package. So cream cheese does not have all of the nutrients that regular cheese would have, but it's still a good choice. You just want to remember that if you're going to have cheese, incorporate a regular cheese more often than you do cream cheese. But that's all that I have for you guys today. Hopefully you were inspired by what we're going to have for lunch on our fast, and just to encourage you to keep going. I know it's a little different. I know it's a change, but guess what? You're going to be so much better when you get on the other side of it. You think you're missing out on something? You're not. What you're going to be missing out on when we get our bodies and our cells back in shape and in a healthy condition is we're going to be missing out on high blood pressure. We're going to be missing out on heart disease. We're going to be missing out on diabetes. We're going to be missing out on all of the health issues that we would have had. We're going to be missing out on being dehydrated because now we're drinking enough water. That's what we're missing out on. Nothing. We're not missing out on anything that's going to benefit us. So God bless you. Thank you all for joining me. I love you so much, and you know exactly what I'm getting ready to do. I'm about to take these little guys out of here and then jump in the car and take everybody else their lunch. I love you. You all have a fantastic day, and I'll see you back on Friday with our nutrition point, and again in the morning at 6:30 for our daily Bible reading and prayer for Arise with J. Danielle Taylor. I love you guys, and I'm shameless plug. This segment is being brought to you by Tax Pro Columbus. For all of your tax needs, please see us at Tax Pro Columbus.